Everybody.
A continuing story, however, right? We'll see what happens. The Valley of the Sun is home to plenty of saguaros. University of Phoenix Stadium, we told you the first time the roof will be open. They had 2 preseason games. They had the regular season opening win against the Niners, a loss to St. Louis, a loss to the Chiefs, and now tonight. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear Tires, featuring Silent Armor technology. Now for Teams at 20 report, let's drop through the roof. And here's Sal Palantonio with the Cards.
Boomer, the Arizona Cardinals rookie quarterback Matt Leinart has a very special guest of honor tonight. His name is Ryan Davidson. He's 13 years old, he's from Wisconsin, and he suffers from brain cancer. Now, Matt Leinart met Ryan Davidson a couple of years ago at the University of Southern California through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They kept in contact through the years, and Matt Leinart said, "What game would you like to come to when I become an NFL player?" He said he wanted to come to a Monday Night Football game. So Matt Leinart invited Ryan Davidson to his house last night for a barbecue, and he's here today to enjoy the entire festivities of the opening of the roof of the new stadium on Monday Night Football, and to see, he said, Matt Leinart get his first win. Rachel?
Well, Sal, the game-time decision on Bears defensive end Adewale Ogunleye has been made. That hamstring injury is bad enough. He will not play tonight. The Bears are also going to start tackle Tank Johnson in place of Ian Scott. Now, that much change on the defensive line might be enough to rattle some units, but the Bears unit says they're all so close, the players are practically interchangeable. Now, I actually got a look a few weeks ago at how the Bears foster that closeness. This is a group that goes fishing together. They play poker together. They play paintball together. And I recently got to spend some time with them bowling.
Brick house on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Brick house! Yeah, we can start here, this lane.
Oh, man.
Come on, man, we can
Put my name down there? No.
You gotta put your name. Should be meathead. All that meat on that.
So, Brian, explain why having chemistry like this off the field is important on the field.
Because we have fun with it. I think we spend so much time together at work. If we didn't have fun, it wouldn't be as... if we didn't have as much fun, and... Why are you making fun? Knock it down, big man.
Come on, man. I can't be any straight.
No. Yes. I need all of them.
Alex, what do you say? Because Brian says he's the best.
No, the
My
statistics
score
doesn't show
does
that.
not represent how good I am.
No, it doesn't. My score does. That's the magic bar right here. This is the magic one. Right here.
AB, you're terrible.
Killing them. I am. Oh! I'm gonna show you. I got ice in these veins. Ice. I got this.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Alex, what happened?
What happened, Tulsi?
That hurt.
All right, who's the sorest loser?
Black.
Ace loser.
Because I don't lose, that's why. Except when I'm bowling, yeah.
Now, Brian Urlacher told me that when he first got to the Bears 6 years ago, the defense didn't do anything like this. He said they pretty much went to work and figured they saw each other there and went home. And that he's been a big part of organizing a lot of these outings, the bowling, having a lot of guys over to his house. He says that he really thinks it helps them on the field, and you'll see that tonight. You'll see them joking around with each other. You'll see them working together, and he thinks it's made a difference. It certainly looks like it in the standings, Boomer.
Hey, Rachel, that was great. That's old-time teams getting together, bowling, what have you. Great to see. No wonder they get it on the field. They're back and they're cover boys again. Even on the cover of ESPN, the magazine. Read about the Bears on your newsstand now. The Chicago Bears defense. So Ogunleye is out. So only 8 guys now on the defensive front to rush Matt Leinart. Will it be a big day? And by the way, as his second start for Leinart, it was a big day for a certain receiver in Big D. I'll give you a couple of guesses if T.O. made Michael's playmaker list. First couple don't count. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Well, they're ready here outside of Phoenix, and boy, are they ready inside. Rex Grossman, the news. The Bears have 156 points in 5 weeks. You know about the defense, but when they score like this, hello. Meanwhile, hello, T.O. A week after the Philly implosion came the explosion, especially in the second half. Bledsoe to Terrell Owens, touchdown, Cowboys. Oh, and that's Todd Haley, the receiver coach. 10-6 Cowboys. Bledsoe to Owens, 21-yard touchdown between defenders, 17-6. And then Tony Romo in the game. Those his first 2 passes. Second one to T.O. for a touchdown, standing on the star. Coach looks and goes. They win 34-6 after struggling with Houston for a half, but they did what they're supposed to do. Like they did against Tennessee, Mike. They won going away, and now let's bring it to the defense.
Okay.
Your witness.
Okay, Boom, what was that dart after struggling with Houston for a half? Look, they won the game. That's all that counts, man. My mom always taught me it's better to give than receive, but tonight, Mom, we will go receive. And let's talk about this here. My number 5 receiver, it is Joe Horn. You heard Mark talk about him earlier. Plays with a heavy heart every time he plays in New Orleans. He has 6 receptions for 110 yards and 2 TDs. And you're right, he has him a quarterback for the first time, probably really in his career, in Drew Brees, and he feels like a young man again. Joe Horn, you are a playmaker. And it's another one of my boys, Roy Williams. I love the way we play with these little highlights. Roy Williams had a great game yesterday, 10 receptions, 161 yards. It was Detroit's first win. Roy Williams also leads the NFL in receiving yards with 552. You want to win? Get it to the receiver. He is a playmaker. Now, guys, 4-0 with this man on the football field, 0-2 when he's sitting at home. He is an MVP-like player in this league. Steve Smith, 8 for 189 yesterday and a TD. Steve Smith, the most important player Carolina Panthers have. Yeah, number 2. He's number 2. You knew I was going to get him in here. That's right. Say what you want to say about it, but make sure you say he caught 3 touchdowns. Only 5 balls yesterday. And you see that catch right there? It says no matter if I'm covered or not, go ahead, T. Do your thing. Throw me the ball any kind of way. And my number 1 playmaker, you know who my number 1 playmaker is? I know you thought it would be.
Waiting on it.
It's T.O. also. That's right. I gave it to him twice.
Man.
Look at him right there. I like that right there. He played because greatness came from a great mess. And look at this. I know, Coach, I know we had a bad week, but I love you. You love me, too. And when we go to dinner tonight, thank you for the touchdowns. That's what they said in that exchange.
Incorrigible.
It was,
Hey, he was a big playmaker. Let's pick
How
it
much is
up.
he paying you? How much is he paying you?
Boom, you got the mic.
Thank you, Mike. Meanwhile, speaking of incorrigible, let's bring Mort in now. And Mort, 1 week after Larry Johnson was victim of an ugly face mask, he was involved in a controversial tackle. What's the latest on his pull down and pull up of Troy Polamalu?
Yeah, and I think anybody who saw highlights certainly saw that when Larry Johnson went down the field, grabbed Polamalu by his hair, pulled him down. That's not a penalty. What was a penalty is when he yanked him back up by his hair. And the competition committee actually looked at this issue a couple of years ago because it was about player safety. And the competition committee decided, hey, the hair is going to be part of the uniform until we have an injury or think about it, we're not going to do anything. And Edgerrin James, here now with the Cardinals, certainly took note of that a couple of years ago. Remember, Ricky Williams was yanked down by his dreadlocks, and the next week, Edgerrin James showed up with a haircut. No longer do you see dreadlocks sticking out of Edgerrin James' helmet.
Well, you want to make it harder to tackle him, Mort, and there he is. No dreadlocks, and hopefully for he and the Cardinals tonight, a lot of yards on the ground. Edgerrin James, will he be the 1,500-yard runner that he always was for the Indianapolis Colts? Coming up, the Super Bowl shuffle might not be quite compared to Big Hit from 85 money for nothing, but we'll hear the Bears in soundtracks.
Think football. One thing. 60 minutes. Am I right?
All you got to do is want it as much as we know we want it.
You want it that much? Let's go.
I don't have no clue what's going on.
When I started playing pro, there's no doubt in my mind I was the sucker.
I mean, they were all looking at me like I was a big, fleshy, raw tuna dripping blood, and they were the sharks.
The shark is hungry!
Fishy new players seem to have trouble getting their chips in the pot in a smooth fashion.
They'll stack their chips so all the little white things line up.
I'm so excited!
People who are just too eager to talk to you, or, you know, they're all excited because they see Norm and Chad in the hallway. That's not a good sign.
He raised all in.
Oh, I'm sorry. The thing you have to remember about the main event, it's 95% suckers. So all you have to do is look around and you're spotting them. If you see John Jawanda, he's not a sucker. And anyone else pretty much is.
What's up, John? Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
What the?
The Bears.
Snap direct, end zone, open, touchdown. Looking end zone, Davis, touchdown.
The Bears. Go Bears.
Pocket's tight, now it closes. He's hit, and down he goes.
The Bears.
And he's down again, a bullseye. Another sack, down he goes.
The Bears.
The Bears. Rex to the pocket, winds up, going deep. Over the shoulder, diving grab, touchdown. Oh my goodness.
Bears. The Bull Bears. The Bears.
George went as Norm, right? The Bears was a great routine, Saturday Night Live, and now the Bears are undefeated so far, trying to make it 6-0. And now we go on the field with our field pass and get you to a little closer to those who are going to be big players tonight. Number 8 is Rex Grossman. Only Billy Wade, 1963 championship. Jim McMahon, 1985 championship. Bears quarterbacks that have made the Pro Bowl. He certainly is off to a Pro Bowl start, Steve.
Yeah, and I think that what you really need to go into the covers here with is you have an offensive coordinator and a quarterback, and they both believe in each other and they trust each other, and they can start calling plays for a young quarterback. There's nothing better. Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator, it's a marriage in many ways, and these guys have found a copacetic way to call plays, to believe in each other, and you're seeing it on the offense. And with that vicious defense, that's why all of us, including myself, have become such big Bear fans. It's because of that relationship in many ways.
All right, across the field from him making his second start tonight, certainly somebody with one of the most impressive college resumes we've ever seen. That will be Matt Leinart, two-time national champ, Heisman Trophy winner. Michael tonight has his hands full.
Yes, he does. But I tell you what, this is a cool guy when it comes to playing football. And we heard Sal talk about him bringing Ryan Davison all the way in from Wisconsin, a 7-year cancer survivor. He said he wants everything he can do. He wants to do everything he can, bring all his good luck charms around him to win this football game. This is one of the good guys in the NFL, man. He really is a good guy.
And Michael, he also, being a lefty, I love him as well, but he's going to be a great player. He needs protection. He's not getting it here. He has the best weapons in football at receiver right now. He has a great back. They need to score a bunch of points, and they can't because they can't get protection. He needs protection.
Number 54 in the middle for the Bears. No introduction needed. Brian Urlacher. Chicago fans want me to decide. Davy Jones Urlacher, Tom, or is it the Duke of Urlacher? Well, we do know he's pretty darn good.
I think he's a little bit of both, Boom. When you talk about a guy who's versatile, a guy who is dominant on the football field, and go all the way back to his college days when he was a return man. You know, this is a guy who has great athletic skills. I think the thing that people didn't know when he came into the pros was the desire, the heart, the aggressiveness that he was going to bring, and it's a perfect fit for the Chicago Bears. He has become an outstanding leader for this football team over the years.
And some say he's played better middle linebacker. People that watch the Bears taking on lead blockers better than before if he can improve an already better play. Now, Edgerrin James, certainly, again, a resume, Mike, of 1,500 yards plus. He can catch, he can run it. But, you know, the knee surgery, that's old news with Indianapolis. Will we see the explosive Edgerrin James? They need him in the desert.
Well, he's explosive, but I think Steve hit on it earlier. It's a lot about that offensive line. But Edge understood it. When I talked to him, he says, Michael, I know there is some attitudes that have to be changed around here, and we'll keep working hard. This is something, he brings more than just yards and catches. He brings leadership, and he's trying to teach these young guys how to play winning football. That's the most important thing.
Well, speaking of young guys, Anquan Bolden now with Fitzgerald out. Anquan Bolden, a physical specimen, had over 100 catches last year. Mike, certainly not afraid to go in traffic, is he?
I mean, Anquan Bolden is a big fella, too, if you ever stand next to him, man, but he loves to play the game, and that's what I love about him most when you talk to him. He always wants to talk about how defenses are trying to defend him. He's always trying to pick your brain so he can get better at playing football. Look for him tonight. He says he loves big games to show up in a big way.
All right, we got more field pass, more players to talk about, but the guys are going to be doing it during the game. Let's check in with our broadcast crew, led by Mike Tirico. Michael?
Thanks, Chris. Great spot you guys have. What a wonderful stadium. I was around here, but what an awesome place. Great for the Cardinals fans. And speaking of great, we're going to see a guy who was considered and probably still can be a great player in Edgerrin James. The problem is, you saw the Colts on TV on a regular basis and Edgerrin getting 100 yards. You haven't seen him on national TV. He's not having the same kind of impact. What's happened and what's going on with Edge?
Well, Mike, that's why they brought him here. They brought Edge here for the simple fact that he was a great player. Averaged almost 100 yards a game. Been a very, very good blocker for Peyton Manning. Part of the threesome that we had in Indianapolis. I think the important thing you have to understand here, he doesn't have Peyton Manning. He doesn't have the offensive line, and his numbers have suffered. He still gets the ball about the same amount of time, 22 times, but he just hasn't had that kind of production. Only about 68 yards and averaging only 3.1 yards per carry. Those are numbers that are not Edgerrin James-like, Mike. He's going to have to get some better play out of the offensive line if he's going to get anywhere near those numbers.
And as the guys alluded to earlier, he's starting to let out a little bit of that frustration. He really wants to get this entire thing turned around, as it is in Chicago. And the player who has really become the focal point on the offensive side of the turnaround is the quarterback, Rex Grossman.
He's a revelation this year. He is having a fabulous year. And a lot of people thought he would be good, but he never went out on the field long enough to prove it. Now he is out there proving it. His teammates always stayed behind him. And Rex Grossman feels that he's having a good year. When you talk to him, there is a certain confidence there because he knows he can physically get on the field. Before this, he was like an egg. You know, he might break at any given time. Now that he's out there full time, that's the reason the Bears are great, because the defense was always there. Rex Grossman even says the people in town are stunned that we're even passing the ball. After about 40 years of just handing it off, they finally have an offense.
And Michelle Tafoya down on the field. Rex Grossman, the best of the Florida quarterbacks to come to the NFL, really is finding his way to make it all the way through a football season.
Exactly right, Mike. And, you know, there was a lot of buzz about Grossman before last season, and that was before Grossman broke his ankle. But obviously now he's getting a chance to do the things everyone in the Bears organization knew that he could do. But after sitting helplessly on the sideline for 2 seasons waiting for his chance, now he seems oddly calm about the success that he's having. And I asked him how he's managing to stay so even.
But really just try to keep everything in perspective and realize the opportunities in front of you. And, you know, I'm just real excited right now. I feel like, you know, got a great opportunity, got it playing in the NFL, starting quarterback in the NFL on a great team. I mean, what more can you ask of, really?
Well, what more can you ask of? After Rex said that, he kind of answered his own question. He looked at me and said, well, I guess I could ask for a trip to Miami, maybe a Super Bowl ring. Boomer, Rex and all of his Bears teammates know they have not won anything yet, and they're not going to start celebrating until they do.
No, that would be wise. That would be very wise, Michelle. And this man has been very wise. Lovie Smith, you saw him with Mike McCaskey, a longtime president, grandson of the Papa Bear. But Lovie Smith, third year, 21-17. I like when he came right over and he said, hey, we don't have a rivalry with Green Bay until we can beat them at all. I liked his whole attitude. He was on Dungy's staff, and now he's certainly making his own name. But Mort, a little rumbling with Lovie Smith in Chicago. Is there? Certainly not about the coaching.
No, Lovie Smith is the lowest paid coach in the NFL at $1.3 million. He was just talking with Mike McCaskey of the McCaskey family that owns the Bears. Maybe McCaskey can open up his wallet. Frank Bauer, who represents Lovie Smith, asked the team to correct the salary or give him an extension. They refused in the offseason because they said they made a mistake by doing that with Dick Duran, their previous Bears coach. Well, there's a team executive in this league that calls Frank Bauer, Lovie's agent, about every week, and after every Bears win, he goes, cha-ching, cha-ching. So it's pay me now or pay me later with Lovie Smith, and I got a feeling he'll be able to cash in pretty soon.
All right, Mort, the Lovie Smith Bears are 5-0, but everybody would have to go a long way to catch the 85 Bears. A couple of times on Monday night in 85, memorable appearances. The debut of the Fridge, William Perry bolting through against the Packers as the Bears win 23-7, the refrigerator at running back. Then the greatest Monday night game ever. Everybody watched the 12-0 Bears go into the Orange Bowl, and Dan Marino was at his finest. Line great, release great. In that game, it was the Dolphins. And in this one, it's to Mark Duper and then to Mark Clayton. Coach Ditka lost, heaven forbid, lost one game that year, but he was going nuts. That was it, 38-24. It was just magic in the air in the Orange Bowl. And the Bears were so broken by that game that they came back and shut out both opponents in the NFC playoffs and then rolled in the Super Bowl over the Patriots in New Orleans. A fitting sight for a team that was always a bit more Bourbon Street than Michigan Avenue anyway, with a cast of characters that was at once brash, charming, and certainly immensely talented. The Bears captivated a sports nation. So grab some Windy City deep dish pizza as we head back in time in this edition of Soundtracks.
With good tempo now. Be smart. Let's go down. Let's pin him in. Let the defense go to work.
All you got to do is want it as much as we know we want it. You
want it that much?
Let's go.
Motion Morehead to the right side. Hand off to Perry. Crushes the right side. Look at William Perry doing the high five.
The refrigerator.
Big number 72. He helped.
Did he though? The way you usually wasn't too bad either.
Well, it kind of fell into that. That was more luck than skill, but he handled it very well.
Should we give him the finger? Yeah, man. Should we give him the finger? Yeah, man. We're number one. We're number one. We're number one.
I wish you the best.
Okay,
God bless
same to
you.
you, pal.
One way or the
I'm
other.
proud
See
of
after
you.
the game.
Whatever we got on our minds, get rid of it. Think football. One thing. 60 minutes. Am I right?
Vendetta from his end zone. Bears will get good field position.
Oh, he missed it.
This is the football.
He missed
it's
it.
Loose on the field.
All right.
They shut him down.
Holy smoke.
Third down, 11 yards to go. Brock back to pass. The rush on for and hammered down.
He got the ball.
Picked up by Wilbur Marshall. Richard Dent on the sack. Marshall picked up the loose football. Fire up the gumbo and clear the French Quarter. Here we come. New Orleans for Super Bowl 20.
You guys on defense, my dad, boys, and the coaches, you all get a ball. When you do what you did, you all get a ball. But I tell you, old Richard Dent,
Bears defense continues to assert itself here in this first period. If I was wearing a red uniform, I'd be scared.
Trying to lose the horses now. You better get another quarterback, you know, we coming.
They're just running right around people, over people, through people.
Mike Ditka being hoisted on the shoulders of his team. 6,
Buddy Ryan, too, Coach.
4, believe it, the dream is reality. The Chicago Bears are world champions of football.
Man, were they overpowering. Since 85, while the Bears have been in championship hibernation, there's been a team in Chicago called the Bulls that was pretty good. 6 titles in an 8-year span. Last year, of course, the White Sox won their first World Series since 1917. As for the Cubs, well, a foul thing happened on the way to the World Series in 03, and the world met Steve Bartman. Poor Steve Bartman. Other number Chicago won since 85. Roseanne took place in nearby but fictional Lanford, Illinois. Became a #1 show. And Oprah Winfrey became nationally syndicated from Chicago in 1986, and a media empire was born. Super Bowl hopes have shuffled back to Chicago. How do these two teams compare? Well, both started 5-0. The offensive production similar this year. 10 points a game better so far than Buddy Ryan's vaunted 46. So many comparisons made between the 1985 Super Bowl Shuffle Bears and the 2006 so far undefeated Chicago Bears. We thought we'd take our pick on then and now. Quarterback, Jim McMahon, headband and all, Rex Grossman, as you said, riverboat gambler style.
Yeah, Rex is just barely starting out, so it's not really fair. But Jim McMahon was one of the most savviest, most aware quarterbacks I've ever known. And that includes, he rivaled Joe Montana in his ability to know all 22 guys, where they were going, where they were. And he had a sense of himself. I really loved watching and playing around Jim McMahon. He was a tremendous leader and a guy that I really believed was a great quarterback, other than the injuries kept him back.
Two great linebackers, Tom. Mike Singletary, Hall of Famer. Brian Urlacher may be on his way.
Well, when you talk about greatness, you have to let the history play out. So we have to let Brian Urlacher's history play out. I can tell you this, Michael Singletary is as good as any middle linebacker to ever play the game. We played him once in December, and we had to stop by the hospital on the way back to the airport to pick up a couple of our running backs. That's a true story. That's a true story.
Coach Ditka, Tom, Michael, and Lovie Smith.
Well, both of these guys are old school, and I am a new school guy, so I like a young Lovie Smith. He's a player's coach. Coach Ditka, he said it himself. He said, hey, we were having a lot of luck. But Lovie's putting things together, Coach. He has an offense that scores a lot of points.
Let the coach talk.
Coach. Yes.
Penny for your thoughts, but you don't have any. You're blank. You make no sense, Michael. None.
Coach, you don't think Lovie's a great coach, Coach?
How many playoff wins?
He's better looking, that's about all.
He's going to break your record. He may go undefeated this year.
Well, since Coach Ditka has dropped in to see what condition our condition was in, Coach, kidding aside, and thank you for joining us here.
No, the
how does
kidding's not
this
aside.
Bears team stack up with yours, huh?
Well, I don't know.
How would you compare?
Listen, and they want to compare this team to 85. In 85, they want to compare us to 63. In 63, they want to compare us to 42. I'd like to go back and take a page. I think we compared favorably in 85 to the 47 Cardinals. Charlie Trippi, Pat Harder, Elmer Angsman. Now, that was a football team. Now we're talking football in Chicago. 47 Cardinals who won the championship. This other stuff doesn't matter, boom. 85, we were good. 2006, these guys are good, but there's nothing to compare it to. They're good, we were good. Are they better? I hope so, because we were pretty good.
You know what, Coach? I'm going to go out on a limb. The 47 Cardinals compare favorably thus far to the 06 Cardinals.
Coach, I was just joking.
And
Coach, I was just joking, baby.
No, it's a great outfit, Michael. It's a great outfit you have on. I know, it's nice.
You know I love you, buddy.
I know.
All right, we get to see Coach Ditka next week. We'll see you on Sunday. Enjoy watching the Bears tonight. Still to come. That was great. Good setup, Mike. You really are learning this TV thing. Arizona's best chance for a Super Bowl may rest with a bona fide college winner, Matt Leinart. The Matt on Matt next.
Soundtracks brought to you by Walmart's Hot Release Tuesday. With all the new movies, music, and video games, Tuesday's gonna be a big night. This week, pick up Over the Hedge.
Well, as you can see right there, the Cardinals have a Pope. They also have Matt Leinart, and they got hope. Instead of making a second start tonight, some thoughts that this might have been his second season as a starter. After winning the Heisman and his second straight national title, Matt stayed at school. Regrets? Don't think so.
I'm Matt Leinart, the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. I wouldn't trade my life for anything. My nickname after USC was Hollywood Jack, but I'm not really a big fan of Hollywood.
1, 2, 3.
I always feel like people are staring at me, you know, and that's something that I've got ever since college. We were living like NFL players, like real high-profile people in college. But sometimes I just wish I could just be a normal person, and that's how I want people to treat me. Being a rookie is like being at the bottom of the totem pole. Coming into the league, you want to first gain the respect of your teammates. You know, I don't want it to say, oh, well, I'm a rookie, I can make those mistakes. I expect to go in there and perform well, and if I don't do well, that's my own fault, and I always take blame because I'm the quarterback. Around this organization, you know, of late, they haven't won a lot. You know, I'm used to winning, and let's get an attitude and build that confidence. We have the core, we have the talent, we have the guys in place to do great things. I put a lot of pressure on myself to be good, to be great, but I am my own worst critic. I hate failing, and I just want to be the best. Life in the NFL is great. You can't complain, and I'm blessed to be able to play this game. This is awesome.
Leinart, only one of 4 quarterbacks the last 50 seasons to complete 60% and throw for at least 250 yards in his first start. Joins an eclectic group. I mean, look at this. All we are saying is give Brent Peace a chance. Right. Dan Marino turned out okay. Roman Gabriel was quite a quarterback. For his Monday Night Football debut, we've wired Hollywood Jack for the game. Here's how he sounds so far.
Let's go, baby. Have fun tonight, baby. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go, dog. Let's go, coach. It's our house, man. Let's go.
Well, we're going to have him wired for the game, which
Our
is
house.
and we thank him for that, by the way.
I actually worry about that. Why would you allow them to wire you on your big start? Get them out of here.
Have a chance tonight against the Bears?
Yeah, does he have a chance? In 1985, I faced the Bears as a rookie. I'm going to tell you right now, my coach came in a pregame and said one thing, Steve, please be careful. It's very dangerous out there. I feel the same way for Matt tonight. Matt, you're going to be a great player. Please be careful out there today.
You know, you got him wired. I hope he doesn't have to call 911 about midway through the second quarter. I think the problem for him, and he is poised, I think he's going to be really good, but tonight against this front four, you heard Rachel Nichols say it, 17 of their 18 sacks come from those 4 guys up front. Boy, small spaces to have to throw the ball into. He's going to be having to deal with all of that. Maybe the one advantage he gets is that he's at home.
Yeah, and he is at home, but I tell you what, man, you keep him taking 3-step drops if he has any chance at all. But those 3-step drops, he'll have to take them and not be able to throw the ball to his favorite target, which is Larry Fitzgerald. That guy is out. He won't play today. So that hurts Matt Leinart. The question, boom, my answer would be absolutely no. He has no chance today.
They have no chance? He's got no chance?
No chance.
You never know. He's
no, he has no chance.
No,
Mike is right. There is no chance.
They just said they have no chance.
Steve, you're a quarterback.
I'm a quarterback. There's a chance.
Okay.
You got to be careful. You might get hurt, but there's a chance. Or forget about, what do you guys, there's no chance.
No.
This is America. Where are you guys from?
Not against this defense.
No chance.
We got a post game.
That's a small chance. It's a small chance, but there's a chance.
The Bears get surprised. Of course there's a chance. That's why they play the games. Meanwhile, time for a final teams at 20 report. Rachel Nichols with the Bears.
Well, Chris, with defensive end Adewale Ogunleye now officially out of the game with that hamstring injury, expect to see a lot more of rookie Mark Anderson, but don't expect to see a drop-off. Anderson is actually leading this team in sacks. He is very athletic, and part of that is a 40-inch vertical jump. Now, I wanted to show you guys just how high that is. This is a 255-pound guy, but because he can get up this high, he's very good at shedding the low blocker. He can get up real high to bat away balls, and of course, he's very explosive rushing the passer. So if Matt Leinart sees Anderson barreling toward him tonight, well, he better plan an escape route that's somewhere else besides up. Now for an update on the Cardinals, here's Sal Palantonio.
Well, Rachel, we know that with this team, they've lost 4 straight. There is a serious and deep current of discontent going through the Cardinals organization right now. Edgerrin James is very unhappy about his role here and about the fact that he can't run the football. He said it's hard to go anywhere when you have nowhere to go. On Wednesday in a defensive meeting, Clancy Pendergast, the defensive coordinator, got into a shouting match with some of his defensive backs over a play that happened in the Kansas City game. It all comes down to, in this game, whether Matt Leinart can bring this team out of its doldrums. And when I asked Denny Green about it, he said, if this game comes down to Matt Leinart, he can do his job.
All right, Sal, thank you very much. You know, of all the compelling matchups tonight, we've looked at a lot of them. Maybe none is bigger than Neil versus Robbie. Who will put his best leg forward? Arizona's Neil Racker set an NFL record with 40 field goals last year against Robbie's solid gold. On pace, if you will, to hit 54 Find out more about this fleet-footed Bear, we turn to Kenny Mayne.
Robbie Gould has made all 17 of his field goal attempts this season and has replaced Neil Rackers as the greatest kicker in NFL history. It's a far cry from last season when Robbie Gould was terrible.
Gould puts it in the air, and it is no good off to the right.
That was my lowest point as a human. You know, I've been kicking this way ever since I've been little, before I could walk. Turns out it doesn't translate that well to the NFL.
I couldn't really figure out how he got on a professional field in the first place. You know, at Penn State, they would occasionally line him up for a field goal, but then they would usually run a fake instead. I don't think Joe Pa really liked his elliptical kicking style.
Honestly, I thought they were going to release him after that kick. We haven't had a lot of success with Penn State guys. You heard of Curtis Enos?
So was it the wind?
I really don't want to blame it on the elements, but I did see Refrigerator Perry float by like he was Mary Poppins.
He didn't try to play the wind card, did he? You know, people think that Chicago's called the Windy City because of the breeze, but really, it's about the jazz, the true art form of America. For real, look it up. Anyway, on that day, the air was perfectly still.
Ultimately, Gould changed his ways. He replaced his former oblong kicking style with one in which he kicks the ball straight.
It dawned on me that I probably wouldn't make a lot of field goals kicking sideways out of bounds. Unless they changed the location of the goalpost. A little kicker joke there, I guess.
Last year, when he was kicking crooked, he just punted sometimes instead of trying to kick a field goal. But he's automatic now. I wouldn't train him for anyone in the league. Certainly not another Penn State guy.
Larry Johnson?
This isn't a fantasy league, man. This is real football.
So Monday night, you go head-to-head with future Hall of Famer Neil Rackers.
It's gonna be really weird. He was my childhood hero and really bended in there.
All right, Kenny, thank you. If a battle of field goal kickers doesn't get you pumped up, maybe this will. The bone-jarring hits from Sunday. We're getting jacked up. Next.
Countdown, delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you? Jacked Up, brought to you by HDTV, powered by DLP. It's amazing. It's the mirrors.
We're counting it down to kickoff at the bottom of the hour between the undefeated Chicago Bears and Matt Leinart and the Arizona Cardinals. And the Bears bring their hard-hitting defense, which is a perfect segue. Looking through the roof here, Tom, as we look back at Week 6, they're in the hardest of the hit.
Yeah, I probably should have saved at least one spot for a Bears
Probably
tonight,
right.
but we filled up all 5. And we're going to get right to it. Number 5, the Bills and the Lions. Kevin Jones going to be carrying the football, and Dante Whitner going to turn him upside down right there. Take another couple of looks at it. You get upended like that. Kevin Jones got jacked up. We go to number 4. It's going to be Mike Anderson taking the handoff up the middle.
Oh.
And Chris Draft is going to, he gets caught in Chris's draft right there. So Mike Anderson got jacked up. Number 3, Steve Smith. I know Mike is a receiver.
Oh.
And that's Ed Reed from the U. Jacking up. Steve Smith, he got jacked up. Number 2, D'Angelo Hall. And most receivers never get this shot. Here comes Plexico Burris with a nice hit right there. Take 4 looks at it. D'Angelo Hall got jacked up. And number 1, another guy involved from the U, David Carr with the pass. Kevin Walter trying to make the catch. And that is Roy Williams with the hit. So Kevin Walter got jacked up. Oh.
Roy can do that now.
Roy can do it pretty well. Roy can hit you.
All right, Tommy, but there's always an asterisk for the Bears.
That's right. Leave one for the Bears.
Meanwhile, no asterisk needed for the Jacks so far. Woo! Tommy, you and I, 20 years of knowledge, dusting the competition. Steve and Michael just pedestrian in our lead pipe block standing. So, Let's start with the leader.
The Chicago Bears, and remember, we have a post-game show as well.
Yeah. You know what? I was talking to the Streeter boys. They're from Chicago. I'm going with the Chicago Bears.
Come on, Mike.
I can't take a chance here.
This is a team with a flashy new stadium, a flashy new quarterback, a flashy new set of receivers. This is not the same old Cardinals. It's all right. We're going Bears.
Wait a minute. Now, I got a story to tell you here. The Houston Astrodome, when it was first opened, they used to have an air conditioner out in center field. When the opponents batted, 5-mile-an-hour breeze came in from center. When the Astros batted, they turned it off. So, I think when Arizona has the ball, they're going to move the field at 1 mile an hour with the Cardinals. When the Bears have it, they're going to go the other way. Therefore, I think closer than expected. That's my theory.
But Bears.
21.
All that for
close. They have the field.
All that for everyone's happy, Boomer.
We'll see you at halftime.
Everybody's happy, Boomer.
Steve,
you covered everything.
Tommy and all the gang. I'm Chris Berman. Let's send it up to the booth and Mike Tirico.
Thank you, Chris, and welcome inside this spectacular building where you have the spectacular team to start the season. Are the Bears authoring another legendary Chicago story?
How much emotion can you stand? A victory over the Bills in Super Bowl 25.
Bill Parcells is bringing the luster back to the Star.
Easy Dallas touchdown.
A coming out party for T.O. puts bad blood to the side.
Terrell Owens, he spikes it. He pounds his chest. He does a little dance.
While the young gun of the East is emerging from his brother's shadow.
Manning back, looking to throw. Pumps, throws one left. Touchdown, Stonky.
Giants, Cowboys. Better buckle your chin strap for Monday Night Countdown.
Monday Night Countdown is delivered by UPS.
Dallas, Texas, home of the 5-time Super Bowl champion Cowboys, a.k.a. America's team. Tonight, Dallas squares off against their longtime division foe, the New York Football Giants, led by Eli Manning, ready for prime time. 11 TD passes this season against the veteran Drew Bledsoe. And there he is with the owner, Jerry Jones. Drew looking for his 99th win as a starter tonight. Who will help him get it? Perhaps the skills and flat out of Terrell Owens. Loosening up for tonight's Monday Night Showdown between two legendary franchises. Monday Night Football, only here on ESPN. And welcome everybody to Monday Night Countdown here in Texas Stadium. Plenty of drama tonight, that's for sure. I mean, who needs the Ewings? We've got Tuna, we've got T.O., we've got the G-Men, we got retiring Tiki, maybe. We got a lot to talk about. Hi, everybody. Chris Berman, along with Steve Young, along with, for 20 years, Tom Jackson. Mort will be by shortly, and then the playmaker. Welcome home, Mike.
Thanks, Boom. It is home, and I'm happy to be here.
Welcome home. 12 seasons. Mike made this home. 3 Super Bowl rings, 5 Pro Bowls. Cowboys all-time leader in catches, 750. Almost 12,000 yards. Inducted into the Cowboys Ring of Honor. Perhaps the Hall of Fame this year as well. Number 88, Michael Irvin. And welcome home right next to Troy, because you, Troy, Emmett, you were inseparable once upon a time.
Yes, right where I belong, right next to my quarterback. Steve, you're my man, but that is my quarterback.
Well, feel chills in here?
Well, it's always good to come home. I mean, it's a great game. It's a big game. Monday night for the division lead. So, yeah, I'm anxious to get this game going and sit back and becoming a fan.
And, you know, and even as I look here, I know, even from your seat, you could get 2 feet in that corner. I know you could drag those
anytime
feet right from here.
At 20, but not at 40. Yeah, at 20 years old, maybe, but not at 40. But hopefully some of the other guys will be dragging 2 feet in that.
Well, we'll see. Of course, you were here for so many big games like tonight. First place on the line, the winner, the Cowboys and the Giants, will jump ahead of everybody in the NFC. So let's get our first thoughts, Steve, on what we're looking for tonight.
Hey, look, Boomer, it's only October, and I don't want to get crazy, but if you look at the schedule and you look at tonight's game, it's a must-win for the Cowboys at home, because if they lose, they go a game and a half back of their 2 nemesis. Philadelphia and New York. They go on the road for 3 months, and they put themselves in the mix of a handful of teams that are going to be fighting for wild card spots. That's not a place that the Cowboys want to be. So tonight is the beginning of their troop to January.
Right.
And if they lose, watch out.
Yeah, I believe you're absolutely right. It is a must-win for the Dallas Cowboys, so that makes it a big game. And in big games, big-time players step up and play big. And that big-time player will be the one, T.O. Look for this to sort of his breakout game, because he haven't had his breakout game. He's getting his football legs up under him now. He's starting to understand the offense a little bit more. Look for T.O. on Monday night.
But he can only have a breakout game if the quarterback plays well, since he doesn't take the snaps from center. So I'm looking at Drew Bledsoe to see what's going to happen to him tonight. In fact, if your guy, T.O., is going to have that breakout
game. He's going to throw it to him.
And
he's going to force it to him.
And it's only
he
a
won't
must-win.
force it.
Hey, it's only a must-win if you don't have a game the next week.
Did you guys just come and eat some Texas barbecue? Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys. There's a guy named Eli Manning that we're watching before our very eyes, his maturation process. Every year, better. This season, completion percentage way up. Big-time player. We know he has capability. Yes, he's been high early in games sometimes, but I'm just watching this maturation, and tonight will be another step if he can win a road game for first place in Dallas. Our storylines, some of the storylines we're following tonight. Tiki Barber coming off his best game, 185 rushing yards against the Falcons. He plans to retire after the season. And you can't spell Monday Night Countdown without T.O., Mike. Terrell Owens, 3 TDs last Sunday against Houston. Best scoring game of the season. More on both later. Each week, we check in with our teams every 20 minutes as they get ready for the kickoff. With this Teams at 20 report of the Cowboys, here's Michelle Tafoya. Good evening, Michelle.
Good evening, Boomer. An extensive conversation with Bill Parcells this week yielded some interesting information about his relationship with Terrell Owens. First, he called the T.O. experiment, quote, interesting. And he said that basically he understands the personality he's dealing with, even though he's not a psychiatrist. And he said it's his job as head coach to appreciate and recognize what Terrell Owens can do on the field if he uses him properly. Now, to that end, they have added a few things to the Cowboys offense this week involving Terrell Owens. Parcells says that's a good thing because it perks the player's interest. And finally, on the overall acquisition of Terrell Owens to this point, Parcells said, quote, it was unpredictable to start with, but things are starting to smooth out. But he added this caveat, that's not to say something won't happen. I'm not under any illusions. Boomer, it's been a quiet week here in Dallas, but Bill Parcells knows with T.O. on his roster, that can change in a hurry.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. Well, Michael Strahan practicing a sack on a safety.